a land of ancient cultures, a place rich in history and traditions. Africa has been at the heart of international trade for thousands of years. It is a place where markets and traders and merchants have passed through over the millennium and generations. And right in the most populous nation in this land that is optimistic and vibrant is a bank that has empowered its customers to achieve a great many things. A bank that is close to the heart of Africa and can accompany customers anywhere in the world. A global African bank anchored in Nigeria. The United Bank for Africa, UBA, Africa's global bank. UBA has been providing banking services dating back to 1949 when the BFB, British French Bank, opened business in Nigeria. BFB was a subsidiary of Banque Nationale de Crédit, BNCI, Paris. It transformed its London branch into a separate subsidiary called the British and French Bank, with shares held by Banque Nationale de Crédit and two British investment firms, S.G. Warburg and Company and Robert Benson. They opened offices in Nigeria to break the monopoly of the two existing British banks. Following Nigeria's independence in 1960, United Bank for Africa was incorporated on February the 23rd, 1961, to take over the business from BFB. UBA was a natural leader from the beginning, being the first in many areas. It was the first Nigerian bank to offer an IPO following its listing on the Nigerian Stock Exchange in 1970. UBA became the first sub-Saharan bank to take its banking business overseas when it opened its New York office in 1984. The first Nigerian bank in the history of innovative banking services to introduce the first check guarantee card known as the UBA card in 1986. UBA is the first and remains the only Nigerian bank to obtain a banking license in the Cayman Islands in 1988. First Nigerian bank to embark on a Global Depository Receipt (GDR) program in 1990. From its first listing on the Nigerian Stock Exchange in 1970, UBA has grown from strength to strength. When you're big, you can only get bigger. As part of its many firsts, UBA was the first successful merger transaction in the history of the Nigerian banking sector. Born out of a desire to lead the banking sector to a new era of global relevance and accelerate the economic development of Africa, a group of dynamic and daring young men led by UBA's current chairman, Mr. Tony Elumelu, entered into one of the biggest mergers done on the Nigerian Stock Exchange with a then fast-paced and fast-growing Standard Trust Bank on the 1st of August 2005.
As young people, I was 34 years old then when I became CEO of Standard Trust Bank. We felt that we were young and banking was a conservative profession. You had old, gray-haired brand managers and bank CEOs, and these young boys, cowboys, were coming on stage. So the story of Standard Trust Bank is one that started before 1997. We felt that the way the Nigerian banking sector was expanding, it will get to a point where there will be need for specialists, experts to help turn around some banks that we felt might not be able to survive. Prior to 1997, I've always had this vision of making a difference. From my vintage position, being a little player at the time in the sector, I felt it was a matter of time for some of the banks to develop to have problems. And so when the financial crisis came, I thought it was a good opportunity for us to do what we planned to do. And this is why when I talk to people, I say, in business, entrepreneurship starts with the ability to see beyond today and position yourself. If you do so, when those opportunities crystallize, you're in a good place and you take advantage of it. And that was what happened.
Standard Trust Bank's history was one of young, dynamic, and very responsive leadership. UBA had safety. Our parents know UBA. There was easy recognition. Then there was size. Then it was almost also ubiquitous. They were everywhere. So, and people, relate to it very well. So bringing both together from that perspective was, something that was very unique. The key success to that merger was that both parties wanted it. They saw the value in it. That's both the two banks saw the value in it.
Following this monumental merger, UBA subsequently went ahead to acquire Continental Trust Bank in the same year, the Trade Bank in 2006, and in 2007 made more banking acquisitions of 3 liquidated banks, namely City Express Bank, Metropolitan Bank, and African Express Bank, further expanding the UBA brand. Global expansions into Europe saw UK and Paris offices opening in 2007. In 2008, UBA confirmed its quest to grow its footprint, expanding this time on the African continent with the establishment of UBA Cameroon, UBA Côte d'Ivoire, UBA Uganda, UBA Sierra Leone, and UBA Liberia, as well as the acquisition of a 51% interest in Banque Internationale de Burkina Faso, which was the largest bank in the country with 40% market share. Currently, UBA has a footprint in 19 African countries and growing.
United Bank for Africa has been in operation for almost 70 years. It's a household name in all the geographies we operate in. We took time to study the various economies across Africa, and with our long-standing experience in Nigeria, we are able to port our skills to African countries.
Between 2008 and 2011, UBA moved from being a bank present in 2 African countries, Nigeria and Ghana, to 19 African countries in a space of 3 years. I believe that was phenomenal.
With expansions comes a massive increase in a diverse customer base across different nationalities, cultures and languages, cutting across all strata of businesses and persons.
Je recommanderais bien sûr UBA à quelqu'un d'autre. Je l'ai déjà fait pour certains de mes clients, justement pour la réactivité du service, du personnel et aussi pour des questions de transfert d'argent.
They are customer friendly, very professional. So I would recommend UBA to any person, any day, anytime.
I've been banking with UBA since they started, about 10 years now, in Accra.
I'm happy with UBA. I have 3 accounts with UBA and I love UBA.
This increase came with a deeper commitment to add value and put the customer at the center of everything the bank does.
What are we doing that is special? Is putting the customer at the heart of everything that we do.
We are there where customer wants us to be there. It's not that he has to come to a branch to get his problems solved. Today he can sit in his comfort of his office or his home and connect with our customer experience officers across all channels, across all the countries.
By developing useful, innovative technologies that allow their customers more choice and greater freedom in the way they bank, UBA built lasting relationships as it continued to create a global network.
Sa particularité, c'est sa jeunesse sur le marché et le fait que, que la banque ait la croissance la plus rapide. Nous sommes dans le premier tiers des banques aujourd'hui avec la plus grande profitabilité.
D'installer UBA dans la branche de ce que nous appelons la branche des grandes banques au Sénégal.
UBA a déjà fait un saut, travailler avec la première entreprise sénégalaise en termes de chiffre d'affaires, c'est assez significatif.
The relationship managers that are under me all along or under the company have been very good ever since then. So yes, they have helped us even though we have not gone to them for a facility before. We believe that anytime you go to them for such help, they won't hesitate at all. Anywhere we are, we ask for anything, they do it in less than 24 hours or better. Yeah.
Les clients les gestionnaires sont très accueillants, surtout. Et ça m'a fait avoir plusieurs amis à UBA. Donc c'est pourquoi je le recommande à mes amis.
Bon, en principe, je suis totalement satisfait, quoi. Depuis lors, je n'ai pas rencontré de problème avec la banque. Je viens à tout moment faire des transactions au niveau de ma carte. Et à chaque fois que j'ai besoin de faire quelque chose pour faire des transactions en ligne, je viens, je ressors la carte et je pars.
UBA is a bank I love. This company started in 2005, and the first bank account this company has was opened in UBA.
UBA is #1 bank in Ghana. Into Bia, Emra, and Mumumedija.
UBA was the first bank to introduce Visa dual currency debit cards. They were the first to bring cash deposit ATMs, the first to open a dedicated MoneyGram location. United Bank for Africa was the first bank to give their customers options to bank in ways that suit their changing needs.
We were the first bank to introduce what we call the cashless account. What that means is that you don't even need money to have an account. So that sort of brought in so many people into the bank. Today everybody talks about having one form or the other of an account in a bank.
With technology revolutionizing how people live, UBA has a mandate to continue to innovate and give their customers more firsts.
Customers can handle their transactions on a selfie basis. So that's what we've done. For me, that's the most important thing we've done for our customers, by enabling them to be able to do their own banking services at any time, wherever they choose to do those transactions. Now, to be able to give customers across all our jurisdictions the same seamless experience, what we've done is that most of the key systems that are driving the channels are centralized. So the service that the customers enjoy and the platforms that we use in each country, they're all similar or the same. So you have a situation where the same UBA Business Direct that's used in Ghana is what's used in Sierra Leone, is what's used in Liberia, is what's used in New York, is what's used in London. So the customers have the same experience, and all the engines that run these systems are centralized here for effective management.
For younger generation, the millennial, they want to do banking anywhere, anyhow, anytime. They don't want restrictions. They're already getting used to certain lifestyles, so you have to take banking to where they are. Like, they love being on social media. You have to take banking to social media. They love to chat. You have to take banking to chatting space. They want the features of the phone, native nature of the phone, to be used when they're doing financial transactions.
We're trying to bring to the world the best of Africa. And in doing so, we're trying to also reach our clients and our potential clients who spend a lot of time online looking for content. We're trying to reach them through their lifestyles and through the things that they like and through the things that they enjoy. So what Red TV does is bring in all these elements together and helping this movement. You know, this African movement that is growing is so attractive. It's very aspirational, and we bring you aspirational content that will make you proud to be African. In that sense, it's not just, you know, for our customers, but also for the world at large.
I've been banking with UBA for 3 years. It's been cool. Yeah, Red is cool.
For many who bank with UBA, there exists a high element of trust and security in a bank that has a rich history and that will be there for their families and future generations.
I've been banking with UBA over 25 years.
Everybody in UBA is good, both management. If you are good, you are truthful, you are honest, and you get any newcomer to take the turn and so forth, you recommend the bank too, because you've already trusted them, and they don't disappoint you.
And in particular with the branch now I deal with in Kaduna State, we have become friends. And virtually all my senior children know them at personal level. So you can see this is something.
They were ready for me, they were there for me,
and they've supported me all this while. So they're a fantastic bank.
The mandate for UBA extends to building a better Africa with adequate infrastructure development that will support its peoples and boost economic growth. That's why for decades, UBA has been at the forefront of infrastructural development projects.
Countries where UBA operates, we support customers, we support governments, we make sure we're relevant to the communities. I just came back from Ghana yesterday. I was with the President of Ghana to assure him that UBA will support his government and his developmental agenda. UBA is doing this across many African countries.
Wherever it is that we're present, we take infrastructure as a key part of our business development for the community, for the country, as well as the people, because we are Africans and we believe that Africa is our home and we should develop Africa with our capabilities. We know our way around finance across Africa, and that's what we bring to bear in all our countries.
We understand various economies of countries, and once you understand what they want, you structure the kind of deals that will make it seamless for them to deliver. And of course, the country is getting more beautiful every day by virtue of UBA being able to assist in financing and enabling this social infrastructure.
In Senegal, for instance, a new port that's been developed, UBA is participating in the finance and the rehabilitation of that port, and as well as the airport. UBA is also the one sponsoring the rehabilitation of the airport in Senegal.
In Zambia, for instance, we worked with the national power system. In Kenya, in Tanzania, in Cameroon, in Guinea, we have been involved directly in financing and supporting power generation and distribution systems. We have also been involved in roads and rural infrastructure. And roads and rural infrastructure are critical because they open up the economies, they open up the society and create access to the goods and services produced in different places. They create access to farm produce and basically help develop the rural economies. I can say without a doubt that UBA is at the heart of infrastructure development in Africa.
And we indeed are happy to be relevant to our people because we see UBA as an African bank, and that is why we say UBA is in Africa for Africans. We are Africa's global bank. We're the face of African banking to the rest of the world.
We make sure that we finance infrastructures that are very important to the geographies that we operate in. So if you talk about schools, you talk about roads, you talk about hospitals, UBA is fully entrenched in these economies, and we employ over 15,000 families in the bank. So that means that for every one UBA person, you are reaching out to a multitude of people in the different geographies. So we're providing employment, we're providing social infrastructure by way of granting loans to conglomerates, to regional players, to SMEs, to individuals and enterprises.
Nous venons donc de conclure avec UBA une opération bancaire pour lever donc des fonds pour nous aider un peu dans l'activité que nous menons au niveau du Sénégal, à savoir le financement de l'entretien routier et de l'exploitation des routes. Il s'agissait d'un financement de 102,5 milliards dont UBA a joué un rôle important et a mobilisé 39% de ce financement-là, donc environ 40 milliards avec une des banques partenaires.
Putting it all together, I would say the journey that started with a dream, a vision to democratize banking, a vision to be relevant in transforming the financial landscape in Nigeria and Africa is coming together very nicely. And for us now, it's more about making sure that in addition to serving customers, that will help to improve their lives. And this we do in Africa now through support for development projects, project finance, infrastructure finance, making sure that we help governments across Africa and businesses across Africa to do finance projects that impact on lives. Because to us, we see ourselves not just as financial players, but as development partners. That is why we say to Africans, when you bank with UBA, you're not just helping a bank to succeed. You're actually helping to empower yourselves, because the success of UBA translates to success for the continent.
Just last year, UBA Ghana supported the government of Ghana with close to, I think, about $350 million. UBA Ghana is in for individual Ghanaian, corporate Ghanaian, and above all, government of Ghana.
To us, it's not about UBA, it's about Africa. And we'll continue to do our best to make sure we bring the much needed long-term capital in Africa that will help to develop our continent.
Developing the continent starts with developing the communities and supporting the African people to reach their goals. CARE is a language all communities understand, and it is spoken fluently at UBA, with its purpose-built foundation to support, grow, and strengthen the communities in which the bank operates. UBA is actively involved in community renewal and sustenance in the areas of empowerment, education, and environment.
We care about our clients, we care about the world, we care about Africa. We've done a lot in education with the UBA Foundation. One of the things that we've done that we're most proud of is the Read Africa project. And what Read Africa does is it's encouraging high school students to learn to read. So Read Africa is a project that we've cascaded throughout our subsidiary countries. Another educational project that we do is the National Essay Competition. And the National Essay Competition has afforded people who would not normally be able to get into tertiary education scholarships. These scholarships have helped some people, some families who have had the first educated person emerge.
All this, however, would not be possible without the diverse network of UBA people, the lions and lionesses that continually drive innovation and keep the financial fortress that is UBA in operation. The people who ensure that the customer remains at the center of every activity.
The customer intimacy starts from home. You know, you have to, charity begins at home, and they always say that you have to govern, he who must govern others must first govern themselves. So the melting pot is a physical place, but it's also a metaphor for how we run our business, how we manage ourselves, how we interrelate, how we innovate, how we deliver excellence all the time, how we execute rapidly, because you meet somebody there and you have this thing that's waiting. You don't say, oh my God, I've sent an email, I'm not going to talk about it. You talk about it and you do it there and then. So, you know, what we talk about is execute, do it now. Now. Get it done now.
Yes, it is about delighting our customers. It's all about taking ownership. If you own something, then you would do it well.
UBA is in the unique position of having a multilingual and multicultural operation with a staff base that speak major languages in Africa and globally. English, French, and Portuguese can be heard interchangeably every day at UBA. Customers are therefore never at a loss with their transactions in the bank, no matter the language they decide to deal in.
C'est une banque innovatrice donc, qui suit la technologie actuelle. Donc, et c'est une banque qui n'est pas en reste. Donc les jeunes, c'est une grande école que je recommanderais bien sûr à tous les jeunes.
UBA invests in its people by treating them with respect, nurturing their talents, and valuing their ideas.
They allow you to be able to take initiative.
Going to a company with my lapel seat is the kind of respect you get. You walk into a place with your head up high, the confidence is bringing.
I love working at UBA Ghana because of the environment. It gives you the opportunity to learn new stuff.
I joined UBA 11 years ago, and I have no regrets working in UBA.
The people that drive UBA live by certain values that define who they are and reflects the type of bank they are to their customers.
The sky is the limit. I feel great working in UBA.
UBA, we are like a family. A typical UBA staff is very humble, has integrity, is resilient, and empathizes with customers.
The person that I'm looking for is the person that has their internal CCTV. Nobody's looking. They just perform it. And then the unsung hero, I pick them up they're not even expecting, they're not looking, and somebody nominates them, we recognize people who do ordinary work in extraordinary way. We recognize ordinary people who do extraordinary things. The Africa's Global Bank that we see, that we envisage, the UBA of tomorrow, is described by the same excellent standards of any bank in the world. That's the UBA. So we're truly African.
Next for UBA is to continue to speak to what is important to the customer. And we have done a lot of work in this regard, and we're pulling 3 triggers. First is technology, because with the number of customers that we have in the bank and growing every day, it is only through a strong technology that we'll be able to serve our customers. Second trigger is processes. For a big organization, you have a lot of processes that no longer speak to the customers of today, let alone customers of tomorrow. So we are interrogating our processes to align them to what the customer truly wants. In UBA today, over 70% of our transactions are done on electronic channels. So we have tweaked our processes to align with today's customer and, in fact, tomorrow's customer. The third trigger is people, the most important trigger, because if you have the best of technology, you have the best of processes, and you don't have people that are keyed to the customer's need, you will not achieve much.
No African bank is as global as UBA, and no global bank is as African as UBA. From the British-French Bank in 1948 to Africa's global bank today, UBA's commitment to support Africa's development is stronger than ever.
The single most important development agenda for Africa should be for us to economically empower our people.